Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dev from Tiny Enormous. I had a patron or two suggest that I do some videos that aren't strictly musically related, so I'm giving this a shot. And this kind of straddles the line because what I'm going to be doing today is building a pedal board for my guitar pedals. And while I'm not a carpenter, and you're going to see that, the woodworking is something that I'm just starting to do. This is something with which I've struggled, and most guitarists have struggled. And while I'm not a carpenter, like I just said, you're going to see some amateur work in here. Spoiler alert, consider yourself warned. What I am is a guitarist, and it's been over a quarter century since I played my first show. So I'll incorporate some of those lessons learned. This should be fun. I'd really appreciate a like, a subscribe, comment if you feel like it, if you want more, or tell me how badly I did some of this stuff, what you would do differently. And there's a Patreon. I'd love it if you'd check that out. Let's get started. Okay, so this is my live rig. I'm very happy with how it sounds, but I don't like the way that the pedals are laid out right now. I finally got the signal path to make sense, and I don't like this old flight case. It's a little bit too big for what I'm running right now currently. You might hear my dog running around in the background, by the way. I am going to keep this power conditioner. This is from a Furman SPB8 pedal board, a powered pedal board. I ripped the power conditioner off it about like 8-10 years ago. It's been great for me. So here comes Professor Trouble. I'm going to build a completely new pedal board to hold all this stuff. So it should be a fun project. And he's excited about it. Right, buddy? Yeah. So buckle up. Let's go for a ride. So the first thing I need is some basic measurements. So you just saw the existing setup. That's this on the left. A bunch of pedals and a power supply just kind of thrown into a flight case. And the new idea is to mount the main power underneath an upper tier of pedals and then have a lower tier of other pedals. Should also mention that I'm going to do this all with just scrap wood that I've got laying around, and I'm going to use like some L braces and just things that I've got laying around. So I'm not really spending any money on this. Even the paint that I'm going to use eventually is leftover paint from what I did in my porch. I'm going to use exterior paint so that I know that it'll handle the kind of abuse that a pedal board, a gigging pedal board is going to need. Okay, so I've got basically the top tier done in the casing for this. This is not put together at all right now. It's just kind of set up so I can see how it fits, but this is what it looked like. The power will be all hidden underneath. There is a tiny space, it's hard to see, you can see my fingers back there right here, to route power from here through to the pedals that'll be in the back. So the top tier is mostly my stereo effects and the verb, little extra space there, and then there'll be another tier of pedals back here and a little bit of auxiliary power for the freak out. Setup is together. The power is in here. Something that I have done before that I've screwed up is laid my pedals out and measured them, but I didn't check to make sure that like power cables have enough room to be connected. So now when I do this kind of stuff, I just set everything up before I start fastening anything together, so nothing's actually put together right now. I know it looks weird to have two power supplies, but that's because the Freakout, which is the most recent pedal that I just added, I adore this pedal, by the way, takes 300 milliamps. I don't know if you can see 9 volt DC, 300 milliamps, and the Furman has only 100 milliamps, so I have this other power converter that has 500 milliamps out, so I just got that plugged in to power really just this one pedal. So I'm going to put this together, paint it, and see what happens. This is it in its like pseudo final form. Power underneath, stereo stuff on top with the Holy Grail. Note to self, cover things up before you sand next to your pedals later. I used less wood on the side. I mismeasured some stuff here. But I think everything is here. It's fitting pretty well. It's actually lighter than I was expecting it to be. So that's pretty good. I'm going to paint it up and we'll see what happens. Quick, just a quick like amateur pro tip, whatever the hell that means. This is like a cake display, Lazy Susan, and it's awesome for painting small things. And also it is Minnesota where I live, and it is November right now, so it's winter time, so I often use heaters to help things dry. So it's great to have on a Lazy Susan like this, so I can put the heater on for a while and just rotate it without having to move too much stuff. But it's also great for stuff like this where I'm just kind of painting up the entire thing. Oops, painting up the entire object, and I can kind of stay in one spot and do it. And that thing was maybe $8 or something. I don't know. It was pretty cheap, but I didn't buy like a big expensive one for woodworking or anything. I just bought like a cake display one, and it seems to work great. I refinished all of my drums with it too. Here she is in her final form, kind of a natural habitat in the practice space. I've used this now in a recording session and a band practice. Very happy with it. It's a lot smaller and more compact and easier on the eyes than the flight case was. Most of these things that are powered by 9 volts are powered by the power supply, which is down below underneath. A few things, these two and this have some specific power needs. So there are some wall warts that are plugged into the power, but it's all tucked away underneath. And one of the things I do like about it is that this is, and I will do a video again on my signal path eventually, but this is kind of one way of shaping the tone. We've got the envelope filter, auto, as it's called now, the freak out, overdrive, and fuzz, and then it comes up here to more tone shaping like the reverb, stereo chorus, stereo flange, and stereo delay. So there's kind of 2 different philosophies of what do I want to do to the tone. So it actually helps me kind of separate that mentally when I'm playing. So it takes a little bit of getting used to step up high, but I have built other things like this where I hid the power underneath. They weren't quite as high because this Furman power conditioner is a little bit bigger, but it has not been a barrier at all, and I'm really happy with this really quick and simple kind of dirty build. Here comes Commander Wisdom. She wants to be on the video. There she is. And let's see how this thing sounds.